Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Just let me make my tea for a sec. And here I am, ready as I'll ever be. All right. Nothing better than a good pomegranate green tea. God knows how they come up with these ideas, but it's actually great. Organic green tea, organic pomegranate flavor, organic cranberry flavor. Very good. Wonder I'm so cranberry. All right, what's going on here? Who's up? Who's down? Who's upside down and right side up? Aman is here. Hello, Aman. Babak is here. Babak, you just changed my name from Mehran to Mehdad. Don't you bloody see the spelling on the lower left corner of the screen? God damn it, everybody calls me. That's all right. How are you, Babak? Seattle. Aman, India. No? Aman, where are you? You forgot age, gender, where you're. Stephen is here. Hello, Stephen from LA. And Haley is here. Um, Guys, don't forget, I don't remember it. Age, gender, where are you tuning in from? It's part of the program. Well, I says name and it says, yeah, there. Otherwise, I write your name on the ugly stick. Let me drop that. Damn it. All right. Not even I don't get the love with the number of subscribers that is just basically non-existent. 23,000 after 9 years. Must be doing something wrong. And then I get my name also. What? How else? What the hell is going on? And Ash is here. Aman says, it's like my mind projecting the light and not letting me see what actually I used to. Well, that's is on you. You're expecting your brain to do what you want and should do or decide. You're allowing the brain, you're taking it so seriously as if the brain has the intellect and you're supposed to be following it. That's why you come up with your sentence. Otherwise, who gives a shit what the brain does? You're supposed to be the master. You're supposed to be making decisions. You're supposed to be judging what the brain says, suggests, thinks, images, or not. Not that whatever it says, suggests, images, ideas, or I must accept, or I must find out what it means. Nothing. Brain is an asshole. That's all. That's anything. Drop microphone. And we have Haley says, I'm the one for people. Well, thank you, dear. You're doing it well as well. And Stephen, mail for the Los Angeles. Thank you for that. Los Angeles. Also, Ash says also, I've had a pretty rough day today. A mixture of a two-pronged attack from HOCD and ridiculous insecurities and self-esteem issues. Well, that's a concoction for shit. That's a concoction for producing more more shit. So good thing that actually you can see it. You can see the disorder, and you're not bamboozled by it. You just say, okay, that's annoying, but I know that that is the problem. That is the disorder. Recognizing the disorder, the awareness of that something is not the way it should be, that is a beginning and a big part of all moving on and recovering from this nonsense. Haley says, just wanted to pop on here and say, since I haven't been asking you questions for the past week, I've been feeling so much more better. Oh, good for you, girl. I feel me, yeah. Ooh, it might pop in my head, but yeah, it should, because what pops in your head is because you're a human being. And that head that you're counting on it all your life is actually an asshole, is a, uh work in progress. It's a machine, it's a tool, it malfunctions. It's not perfect, and it's not flawless. It has its problem, but you've been duped to think that it is you. So whatever garbage comes into it, you think I have to deal with it. No, you can simply ignore it and diss it and judge it shit and move on with your choices and your vetoes. That's it. You're the boss. And Steven says, I took your advice for my job interview last week. Everything went well. I actually don't really want to work there. There you go. That's when you become in control, that you actually qualify or disqualify things, want or unwanted things. You have a choice. You can unwant things. You don't have to want things. You can disqualify things. You don't have to have everything qualified just because they show up and they're presented to you, whether by others, opportunities, or thoughts in the brain. Um, it says, but it helped a lot. I'm sure it'll prepare me more for the next one. Good. Glad to hear that. Thanks for sharing that, Steve. Ashes, I jumped back on the skateboard again today after injuring my elbow a week back. And I was a bit wobbly and intimidated to do what comes naturally to me. Comes with my self-esteem after. That's right. And like a trickle effect, it started to affect everything else. Yeah, you know, became low mood and negative thoughts and all that. I was being attacked by doubts about everything, yeah, and especially regarding my confidence and confidence. Then HOCD would slide in, yeah, because HOCD looks for weaknesses. If you don't stand your ground, and if you just pay attention to what HOCD thoughts say or suggest, then you become weak, and the soft ground is for when it kind of continues bullshit, you know, thought patterns. Why? Because when you're weak, you keep the thought going, whether you ponder on it or debate it or argue with it, because you're not standing your ground. So it's not a hard ground. It comes and stays. But when it's hard ground, meaning you focus on your life and you don't give a shit, and you have your mandate and directive clear to you, and you defend it, with your life. And then so where thought comes in, it's a hard ground. It can't stay. It just bounces back because it's not accepted. It's not entertained. It's not argued with. It's just ignored. When someone goes to a party and is being ignored, naturally leaves because nobody exchanges energy or pays attention or welcomes it. When you start engaging with some idiot who wants to argue about something, well, then that idiot stays along in front of your face and you keep being bothered by its own presence, let alone the discussion. But if you ignore it, well, it has no chance to stay there. It has to go. Well, what is it going to do? Stand there and you're not saying anything. You're not paying attention to the person. So obviously, he or she is going to get the clue and move, or you move. Either way, move away. That rhymed. Either way, move away. That's that's a motto to deal with HOCD and all other idiots that are physically or mentally in our life, in our daily lives. All right, and we have Aman says, "Is Canada's flag have a cannabis in its symbol? That's a maple leaf." Uh, Charles DC says, "Microphone is not good." Oh, and you tell me now? Damn it! All right. Oh, oh, can you hear me now? This thing is playing funny with me. How how much of this whole 18 minutes you guys did not hear? So how long how long have you not since when were you guys not hearing me? I can't repeat everything I said. I don't even remember. I don't remember what I said. I just say off the cuff. Uh, yeah, I look funny without without sound. You, really from the start? Nobody could hear me from the start? Shit. All right. Okay. So how is it now? Can you guys hear me now? Yeah. Yeah, Ash, that's right. And the word from my sponsor, a promoter, Haley, says Mayron is the best. Oh no, I thought you said Mayron is the best now, but there's a continuation of the sentence, so forget it. It says Mayron is the best way to stop thinking about someone is to just live on, ignoring it. Live on. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Haley says I can hear you. Good. So your ear doctor has been helpful because thank you very much, Prito. Guys, please do not forget
do not forget that I need to know your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from every time you put a question, because I don't remember. So I want to see who and how I should respond and how it is, who it is. And Old Dirty Dasher says it was good for me. Oh, okay, good. At least somebody was hearing it, which means the upload would be okay. Ah. Now, Prithu had a question, I believe. I can't see it here. Ah, there's Prithu. It says, you look younger and full of energy at 65. Many elderly people in India become less enthusiastic by 65 years. What's your secret? Secret? There is no secret. I just see there's no other choice but trying to be cheerful and energetic, because without energy you can't get anything done, so, and you can't enjoy anything. I mean, what's the use of complaining about things when you can actually do whatever you can and capable of doing to bring about a good energy in your life and be happy and laugh, you know, given that, basic things like health for you and your family is there, then the rest of it can't get me down, you know. If I have reasonable health and if my family is healthy, nothing can bring me down. All right. Now, let's see. The secret is just wanting to be aligned with the universal energy, wanting to love life, wanting to love nature, wanting to be good, fair, protect your values, stay away from things that are not up your standards, not in line with your values. You can't just say, look, I'm a clean person, so even if I go swim in shit, I'll still be clean. Yeah, well, that's not the idea, is it? Stay clean, but also stay away from shit. That helps you stay clean. You don't have to keep fucking take a shower. When you keep getting mixed up with things in life that you don't enjoy, you don't want to be around, you don't think you should be exposed to, why should you? Just because everybody or some people talk about it and they want to promote their own cause, that doesn't mean you should be part of everything. Why? Because you don't need necessarily causes to be considered a good person. You can be a good person without having to belong to any kind of a cause or cult or whatever it is. People who can't make anything out of themselves, they cannot produce or accomplish anything positive in their life. They cannot be helpful and a good person on their own, have good merits and good standards to meet on their own. They attach themselves to a cause that is known to be a good cause. And with that attachment, they try to elevate themselves, because by attaching themselves to a cause, they don't have to make an effort to make anything out of themselves. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to accomplish anything, because the cause is known to be noble. And therefore they say, oh, I'm part of this cause. Therefore I'm a victim. Therefore I'm elevated because, but none of it is there. It's a cause. It's got nothing to do with their performances or their personal achievements or contributions of any kind. They just believe in certain cause and become part of a certain group, and they elevate themselves because they know that's the easiest way to say, I'm somebody, and they have a posture. But in reality, they haven't accomplished anything. Hmm? So, I don't know where I was going with that, but I forgot. Let me have some tea. I think that's the problem. Ah, wunderbar. Prithu says India, 32. Now, this is Saturday, guys. I really don't know how to say it. It doesn't make sense that we are talking about and sending and receiving lots of questions on my comments on the video comments, and yet when it comes to the live stream day, there are 8 people here. Am I not supposed to take cue from the, you know, demand? There is no demand. So if you guys see me not do live streams, that's because obviously something is wrong. Either people don't know about it or they don't need it. So, where are we now? I shouldn't have complained because now we lost one. We're down to 7. Shameful. And funny enough is that we're not just on YouTube; we are also on Facebook, and the combination of the two is 7 people. So don't don't get too excited. Uh, so I just wanted to thank you all for your efforts to promote the channel, because it's all because of you that this channel is so successful. Bullshit. And and I am grateful for all your contributions to promote this channel and your enthusiasm and the fact that you're all here in whole bloody 9 of you, and I'm beside myself. So I'm here. I'm beside myself. This is not me. Anyhow, this is what you get when there's only 8 people watching. It's the best show I can put up. All right. So let's talk about something meaningful, like weather. It's very hot today. it's about it's about supposed to be quite hot, like I don't know, 35, 39 degrees today, but holy macaroni, it's already 29 degrees. That's Celsius, and it says it feels like 33. Holy macaroni, this is hot. I mean, for a second I thought we were in, I don't know, somewhere else, somewhere good, like Hawaii. All right. Okay. That's it. You guys done? If there's no more question, might as well wrap it up and go and enjoy the heat wave. But listen, I ain't going anywhere, so might as well shoot your questions. Cressy horse. Cressy horse. At least one part of your name, I'm all for it. Horse. I love horses. And says Mr. Meron, yes. It says, I have a quick question. Well, before you be too quick, I need gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. I need to know how to address you as far as, how old you are and, everything else. 22 male Serbia. Huh. Okay. Go ahead. Prithu Barua says you are the best channel, giving information which nobody talks about. I look forward every Saturday to join your live stream. I'm always there to listen to you. At least you have one dedicated subscriber. Thank you, Prithu. I appreciate that. Thank you for the love and attention and showing appreciation for the content that we cover here. And you're damn right. Pretty much nobody talks about what we talk about here. And what we talk about here is somewhat deep, and it's only for the people who want to learn and educate themselves and know about their own psyche, to become the mechanic of their machine, not to be a simple no brain and follow the brain instead of commanding the brain, judging and teaching and training their brain. And so I'm delighted that you're here and you're enjoying the content. And hopefully that you'll find a way to promote the channel, as I have asked everybody else to do the same. Otherwise, we'll just wither and die. And if that's what you guys want, then don't do shit. I'll naturally disappear. And Cressy Horse says, how to maintain frame and be strong psychologically once I fall in love with a girl. Well, the whole idea of the fact that you say, once I fall in love with a girl, let me read the rest of it. And you say, I tend to get very emotional and in that state, and can't be the rock I want to. Mm-hmm. I understand. It's a very good question. It's so good that I want to tell you a joke before I start answering it. Nasruddin was a Turkish philosopher, and he used to travel around the country with his camel driver and give speeches in every village and city that he would get to. And his speeches were always packed because he was a very well-known philosopher. So he got on this journey, this tour, concert, this tour with his camel driver. And every night they did a speech, and then they left to the next city, and next city did the speech, and they left to the next city. And they did this for about 10, 11 nights. And then the 11th night, when they were camping outside of the next city, next village, so the next day they would have to go there and speak for the public. As they were camping at night and having their food, the camel driver said to Nasruddin, hey, Nasruddin, you know what you're doing is not important. It's really not that difficult. I can do exact same thing. I can talk the same way you do. Well, of course, he had heard it 11 nights in a row. So he had memorized everything Nasruddin said, because he said everything the same every night for different cities. So Nasruddin said, well, that's okay. Next city that I'm supposed to speak tomorrow, they don't know me. So why don't we in the morning, we switch places. You become Nasruddin and I become the camel driver. And you can give the speech. You said, no problem. I know what to do. Of course he knew, because he had heard Nasruddin talk and say the same speech for God knows how many times. 11 nights, at least. So next morning they switch places, and Nasruddin is pulling the camel, and the camel driver is sitting on the camel as Nasruddin. They enter the town. And of course, the mayor was there, and a whole big crowd was there. And sure enough, they took the camel driver, now posing as Nasruddin, to the podium and packed thousands of people. And Nasruddin held the camel on the side and waited there. So the camel driver goes on the podium and sure enough gives a speech as good as Nasruddin himself, until it came to the question and answer period. And somebody asked the question that, of course, it was a tough question, and he didn't know any better because he just had memorized the speech, but he didn't know the concept or the depth of it at all. So he said, "What do I do?" So he looked around and says, "Well, this question is so simple that even my camel driver can answer it. Come here and answer the phone." So answer the question. So right now, I'm actually looking for my camel driver because this question is so simple. So it's so simple that I have to read it again. It says, "How to maintain frame, you mean your posture and your character, and not fall apart, and be strong psychologically. Once I fall in love with a girl, I tend to get very emotional in that state and can't be the rock I want." Because the concept that you're calling love is really not love to begin with. Because in order to call something love, you got to know what love is. In these scenarios that you're talking about, it's basically lust and not love. That's why you lose posture, because lust is fueled by desire. Desire is something that you are programmed to have. You're a heterosexual male, you have desire for women, regardless of what the woman actually is made out of in her consciousness, because all you need is to see the beauty, the body, the fitness, the looks, and you're programmed to respond to that. Mm. That desire for intimacy and sexual contact, which is programmed in you for procreation, it's got nothing to do with love. You think it's love because it's attractive and it pulls you. Mm. And in order to satisfy that pleasure, that desire by pleasure, in order to satisfy that desire you have for procreation, for intimacy, to get close to her, because you're programmed to, by pleasure, you are willing to do anything. It's like you're hungry and there's a sandwich there and you don't have money. You're willing to do anything to get that sandwich. Not because the sandwich is the greatest sandwich on earth, it's because that's the only thing available in front of you and you're hungry. You need to eat that. That's a kind of feeling that makes you feel, I'm falling apart because my desire makes me not strong. My desire makes me willing to give anything and everything just to get that what fulfills my desire, the pleasure that I'm programmed to pursue and seek. Hmm? So, where's the key here to keep your posture and, as you said, your frame? Is to stop desire, to control the desire. It's not anything to do with the fact that it's mystic, I don't know what to do, I'm in love with her. Why are you in love with her? Do you know her? To be in love with her, you got to know her. Do you know her? You don't know her. Or you know, or you love what she does for you. Do you love her or you love what she does for you? And you know damn well what she can do for you. The whole idea of being near her, your whole hormones and cellular structure and your genetics is just programmed to be gravitating toward her. So that's not her doing to give credit to her. I love her because she's this. No, she hasn't done anything. You love her because she's a female, because she's a woman. That's all. You're programmed to love her. So you don't really love her. That's lust, because to love her, you got to know her. You can't know her just because, you saw her and you desire her and then you think that's love. You call it the wrong name to begin with, then you're looking for a remedy to withstand the challenge that it creates in you, thinking that it is love, and you got to do something against this love to control yourself in light of being in love. It's not that you can't control yourself because you're in love. You can't control yourself because you're in lust and you're programmed for that. And for that, you need to learn what desire is and what makes desire to be born, and where in desire, the whole process of desire, you can control desire. For that, you need to go to my channel, and there's a video. There's one 10-minute one 3-minute one that says desire and how to stop it. Desire has prerequisites. There are different stages for desire to take shape. There's a stage where all the sensories have been engaged and they have brought the desire to a level where you start creating images as a movie of the benefits of achieving that thing that you're pursuing. That's when the desire is born. You can watch that video. I'm going to put the link here for you, which explains to you what I'm talking about. Well, there is the short version. I'm going to put the link here. That's a 3-minute version. And then there is a longer version of the 10-minute one, which I put both here. And then, of course, there's another one that is 20-minute when you can find it. It's just key in desire and you will see the videos. Now, imagine if you're in an auto show and you see lots of cars around, but there is one car you see from the distance. It's a red car. Catches your eye. Your eyesight makes connection to it. So you recognize the direction you want to travel in order to get closer to that what has attracted your attention. So you go towards the car. When you get close to your car, other sensories come to the picture. When you touch the car, now sense of touch is involved now. When you open the hood and you see the engine, yeah, and you smell the engine, now the smelling sense is involved. When you open the door, sit in the car, and the smell of the newness of the car hits you, yeah? And the sound of ding, ding, like, when the door opens, now your ears are involved, yeah? And when you put your hands on the steering, where you're sitting in the driver's seat, and then you imagine your girlfriend sitting beside you, how your friends imagine you, look at you when you're driving this car, and how it feels when you're driving in a nice road with, I don't know, a beautiful scenery around, and how your girlfriend feels, how you feel, how the wind is blowing, and how the friends look at you and, admire the way you look while driving that car, how the whole thing looks. All that imagery that is now being created, the image of the benefits, you start feeling that, and that's when the desire is born. That's when you want to buy the car. So if you can stop all these information that comes in by the sensories to turn into a movie of the benefits, to imagine the benefits of it, if you can stop it there, the desire won't be born. So for you, in your situation, well, simply understand that, okay, I know why I'm so excited about her. That's not love. That's because I'm programmed for lust, for intimacy. And I want that because I'm programmed to want it. But that's not a credit for her. So let me not make a mistake thinking that my desire for her is because she's so great. No, it's because I'm programmed that way. Let me give time to find out who is she, because who she is in the content of her consciousness. And until I find that out, through dating and going out and seeing how she negotiates the daily life, how she interacts with what we are doing, where we go on a date to sit and have coffee or eat food or do some sporting activities, whatever it is doing, let's see how we interact with each other, how compatible we are on consciousness level. Then I decide if she meets my values and I meet hers, and then we are in love or not. Otherwise, recognizing that what you're really bamboozled with and falling apart is not love, is not her speciality, is that you're programmed to desire sexual intimacy, then you are clear why that is. It's not a mystic for you, then you can handle it. Then you can handle it. That is not that she's a god. It's because I'm programmed to want her. Like I'm programmed when I'm hungry, I need food. That's kind of out of my control a little bit. So I try to control it, bring it to perspective, understand why I desire her. Rather than thinking, oh, it's a God sent, it's a mystic. I'm in love with her because she's an amazing human being. Really? What has she done? What has she accomplished? Does she feed the elderly or feed the children, hungry children? Has she come up with a common cold? What is her echelon in life? What has she accomplished that she's so amazing for you to be in love with her? So you can see you can't be in love with someone if you don't know them first. You got to get to know them. That takes time. Second, thirdly, well, you're hot for her because you're programmed to be. That's not the credit to her. She didn't do anything for that. So wait till you love her, to know her, to know if you love her, and then decide, okay, I love her and I know why. Because of these qualities. Through time, I got to know her consciousness. We are resonating on the same level. Then that's a different story. I hope that was helpful to you. And we have Ash says, Maran, do you think the arm injury is what is affecting a lot of my ego? Yeah, because remember, you're a perfectionist, like most of us. And when we really rely on that state of perfectionism and we think we're no good until we're perfect, is actually going to fuck with us all the time. If we hit our toe to the wall, we make it bigger than what it is. Oh my goodness, my toe is broken. How long is it going to take? I can't run. I can't do skating. I can't do horseback riding. I can't do tennis. That all I identify myself with all these activities. Therefore, I can't do them. Therefore, I'm not myself. Therefore, I don't have the confidence that I would get from all these things. Therefore, I'm just not my good self. I don't worth much. I'm demoted. I'm in depressed. You see where it goes? All because of fucking, stump your toe or broke your arm, which this is 20 fucking first century. They'll fix these things. I mean, look, when you don't have a point of reference and you in your own bubble and you don't compare anything, then you can't see that having your arm broken, as bad as it is and terrible, and you should do your best to protect yourself. Think about things that you're doing so these things would not happen, or at least not happen often. But when you just don't compare that, okay, you got broken arm, but somebody just woke up to have breakfast and bombs were, destroyed his home and his parents and everybody gone. What kind of a confidence do you think he or she would have? And he's a minor, he's a child. He's got nobody to take care of. He's a teenager or in early 20s. If you compare your misfortune or catastrophe, as you call it, to what really is happening in the world, you'll see, hey, my confidence level is really big. My father was a lawyer, and at one time he was working in Switzerland. And for a corporation as a legal advisor or some kind of a project. And one day, when his colleague, who was part of the actual organization, working for that organization as a career, when the colleague came to the office, and he was a Swiss man, and he was saying, "Oh, it was a disaster today, disaster today." My father said, what happened? The train was 5 minutes late. My father smiled and he said that I told him, listen, the definition of disaster to you is a whole lot different than the definition of disaster for some other people around the world. People have things happen to them, injustice, um, terrible situations that they're faced in, forced into. They have no way out. They're being bullied as adult people in their lives. Their children, wives, husbands killed, taken away, bombs on their heads. No justice, no democracy. That would be a disaster. A tsunami, an earthquake, death. That would be a disaster. Train 5 minutes late is based on your conditioning that you've received all through your life. You live in Switzerland. 5 minutes train late is a disaster to you. But in reality, in life, it's not a disaster. You have the best life in the world. So when you talk about my elbow, when you compare it to other things that is happening, you say, holy fuck, I'm fine. I'm really okay. It'll be maybe 6 weeks and, I'll make it strong again. It's the only way to look at it. The only way to fly. And so we have Colin, 36, male, American, right? Learning a lot about evolutionary psychology, going through heartache from breakup recently. It seems girls actually end relationships. 70-80% of the divorces are initiated by women. Okay, Colin? Is there any point to this? Like, is there any question here? And Colin says, I was just gonna say red pill all the way. Okay. And says, women aren't feminine anymore. Mostly true. They've been sold this bullshit of feminism as if women are not important. Now they have to attach themselves to an ism to become important. Women don't understand how important they are. And they think they have to belong to a certain kind of an ism to become important, like to become an asshole like men are. Not all men, but we admit that many men are assholes. And women think to be an asshole, to sleep around like men do, to be ignorant or selfish or uncaring, unlike how women were 100 years ago, center of life, give energy, love, life, cohesiveness, bringing everything together, being a good role model, motivating men to be better people, motivating men to be chevaliers, brave, protectors, motivating men to have manners, to be gentlemen, because if they want to be with a lady, they must measure up. Ladies now have become assholes. They fuck this, fuck that, fuck that. They think that means they're in control. That means they're powerful. It just means you're just another asshole like us. And no longer moral compass is there, as women have always been. Have you never seen in the old times when there's a fight or something, argument, as a woman passed by, everybody shuts up and becomes quiet or polite in their wordings, or they stop fighting as a respect to a woman? Women, this feminism bullshit took away all that respect for women. Nobody gives a damn anymore. I used to feel obligated and honored when I see an older lady come to the bus and there's no seat for her to sit, to get up and give her my seat. It was a normal thing to do. When I came here to Canada 42 years ago, I saw the same situation. Two ladies came. I was sitting down. There was no seat. I got up. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. Like this wasn't happening anymore. Like this was out of norm. Now you open the door for a lady, she thinks you're hitting on her. So nobody opens door. Nobody's being cordial and respectful and gentleman because they see it's not expected. So the women's echelon of that high and mighty to worship and pursue, to serve and protect, is no longer requesting that. It is trying so hard to prove to the world, hey, don't worry, I'm an asshole like you. There's nothing special about me for you to run after me, follow me, provide for me, respect me, and cherish me, and hold me protected. That's what's happening in this world. And that is planned to take the alpha males out, to take the protectors out, to take the mentality of chivalry out, to take the mentality of respect for women out, so women no longer are protected by the men. And then they can sweep in and abuse them through lack of equality in pay, equality in opportunity, and everything else, because there's no more protectors. And they use them, feeding them this old idea of feminism, but they're using them for everything far more than 100 years ago. But they have this label that we are for equality and protection of women. Bullshit. You're actually abusing women a lot more than before. Before, everybody was protecting women. Now they have to go to certain kind of a group and call certain organizations to be protected from something. But in the old days, a woman walking the street protected by every man. Now nobody helps anybody. They got to call some authorities to come in. And they have caused every man to become an asshole. If we had a big percentage of men being an asshole, now almost every man, much higher, not every man, but much higher percentage of the men have become asshole due to the fact that women don't desire a man to be a gentleman anymore. They don't motivate men to be good human beings and have manners, morals, to be good fathers, to be good husbands. They have become rough and tough, and it's all bullshit now. All right. And this is exactly why women will not have the guy. They won't have a good guy because they have relinquished what a good guy expects from a woman. All those that makes a woman amazing, all those that makes life worth living for is women. And women have destroyed that feeling in men by no longer providing or being the symbol of that beauty, that echelon, that standard, that warmth, that motivator. So they're not offering that because they think, oh, that's feminism. I should not. That's weakness. Instead of, this is the center of life. That's not weakness. That's the strength of life itself. That's what life goes around. That's the whole thing that we men are actually living for women. They've taken that away. They've made men feminine. They pretend that they like a feminine man. And when their man, in order to comply and satisfy them, becomes more understanding and more of a soft character, they leave the man and say, well, I want a real man. This is so feminine. They did it because they loved you. They became like that because you actually looked like you prefer them to be soft and, lack of backbone. That's what you did to them. So they became as you commanded, as you requested. Then you said, no, why? Because women by nature want protectors. They don't want somebody to cater to them all the time and do whatever they say. They want protector, leaders, as they can be a leader, but they also want a leader, a combination. They want a man who knows that they're not, these women are women, they're different than men, should be treated differently. But when they pretend that they want their man to treat them as if they're equal in everything, then the man gives in. And then when the man gives in, they say, that's not the kind of man that I want. I want a real manly man. Then they leave him. So you're actually responsible for not having the man that you actually dreamed of having. You're fucking him up. Don't do that. Let us get back to the values and standards, high standards and high values that women always had. Motivator to keep us men in line, motivate us to have better manners, morals, be better fathers, be better husbands. You have your role in this life. You've relinquished that. And now you want to have everything you want. How can you have everything you want if you don't have the man that you're looking for with the qualities that it's supposed to be worthy of you? Think about it. All right. So, Prito says, when I first saw your video, I was just expecting some bullshit. But when I went through your videos, it just blown my mind. I became interested in knowing about my psyche. I love your content. Thank you very much, Pritu. I love you too. And thank you for your attention. And promote the channel, guys. If you guys like the content, promote the channel. Let's see. Ash says, pretty sure Mehran is red pilled as well. Although he's old school red pill, I don't think he actually knows what it is. He just is red pill. Laughing my ass. I guess so. And Pretty says, male 32 India. Can I start martial arts at 32? Yeah, of course. Very good time to start. It's not like, anything else that you got to start from child. It's not learning languages. You can start 32 and enjoy it and learn it. It's good. Deep Diver says, I think Einstein used the same Nasruddin story with his chauffeur. Female 46 Tehran. 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 You're really slanging it, aren't you? Tehran. Tehruni hasti. Cool. Vita is here. Vita must be from Facebook, yeah? Says, I always learned a lot with you. Thanks so much for your time here. Female, 40, Spain. Ah, lovely, from Spain. Hello, Vita. Thank you for being here. Jeremy Bailey says, we need to learn how to let go, loosen our grip on these things, people we desire so much. These things are people we desire so much. Well, the thing is, the more you tighten up your grip on desire, the easier it slips through. It's like a fish. Just look at it. Any woman that you really went gung ho for and you died for and you fell apart and you went after more and more and more constantly, she stayed away from you because most women, not all, don't make a mistake, most women don't have much confidence. And when you actually show so much interest in them, because they don't have too much confidence in them, because they know the facts about themselves. They haven't done anything, haven't accomplished anything. So their reasons for their confidence is very momentary, depends on what kind of a hair they have and how well they're dressed or how confident they feel. But it's not based on something that is every day is the same, coming from their within and their accomplishments. Because of that lack of confidence, when you give them so much confidence, they say, well, I'm not that important. Why is he so keen on me? So if I think I'm not that important or that hot or that special, but yet he pretends it, that means he's not much himself. And if he's not much, I don't want someone who's not much. The old saying of, I don't like to belong to a club that takes me as a member. I don't like to belong to a club that takes me as a member. So naturally, you got to loosen up the grip of desire, because it has to be a mutual compatibility, not the idea that I want it, so I'll go get it. Or what do you think women are? Meat? No, they're intelligent being and with sophistication and expectations, high expectations. And if you don't comply with that, they won't give a shit about you. So you have to understand, to respect their values and see if you resonate in the same level. So it's not about, I want it, I get it. No, got to measure up. So go make something out of yourself, educate yourself, have a career, be able to refine yourself and take care of yourself physically and mentally, provide, have things to offer. Then come to a woman that you want to get to know. And then don't show off, just get to know her and see if you guys resonate. And then as a gravy, as a bonus point, you can offer the things that you have. She can see that you are a person who can accomplish things, you have a good career, you have money, you can provide. That will attract her more than just your character. It will add to your bonus points. And then, because of compatibility, you guys can be together. Can be together. That's a different new way of speaking English. That's Mehran's way sometimes. All right, okay. And Jeremy says we did that. Jeremy is male, 38, UK, and Deep Diver says, I just succeeded in directing my desire, and I'm so proud of myself. I used my foresight to do so. I don't like using the word control. I prefer to use the word direct. Good. Whatever it was, proud of you. Good for you. And we have Colin says, wow, wonderful answer to woman and feminism. Okay, thank you. Kimia Hicks says, Anna Lot, this man is amazing. He helped me with major common sense tools. Well, you're welcome, Kimia. Deep Diver says, Mehran, what is the Swiss man didn't tell your dad? His wife rejected him that morning. Maybe that could be a disaster. I go for that. But the train was late. A lawyer's way of thinking. My father was a lawyer, but he was a lawyer as well. But that's his way of thinking, that train being late 5 minutes in Switzerland was a disaster to him. But yeah, that wife thing, yeah. That would be a disaster for any man. And Deep Diver says, this is what Nikola Tesla said about woman and why he didn't get married, because women have become like men. Yeah. And now the politicians and this whole idea of doing whatever it takes to get the votes of anyone for any reason, so they agree with anything and any designs. And they facilitate women to become men and men become feminine just because it may get them some votes. But the whole fabric of the society is falling apart, which, if there is no society, if there is no individuality of that could be instrumental and detrimental, or rather important in holding the nucleus of life, and the order of how things are, because everybody specializes in something. Speciality has a speciality in something. There's no way I can do something as good as a woman can do in some things. And there's no way a woman can do some things that a man can do better. And the idea of trying to say, no, I can do what a man can do, or the woman says, and the man says, I can do whatever a woman, that's bullshit. The whole beauty and the strength of us human beings is in our being a bit different. Man and woman are different. In many things, they are just as intelligent and capable and expert as the other one is. But in some things, they're just different. They cannot be expected to be the same. And expecting that is stupid. I don't know. Who says any is better than the other? We need each other to make this world to continue. You turn men feminine, you turn women masculine. What the fuck are we doing? What? Anyhow. I mean, that's the arrogance of human beings, that they think they actually can redesign the whole center and basis of life. Animals are much happier than we are, but they don't have these bullshits. Everything has been clear for them, hardwired. That's what they do. That's what they need. And there's no discussions about it. And they're equal pretty much anyhow, animals. You don't see any, such discussions or discrepancies and I'm better than you, I'm better than you. This is the bullshit that we've been raised with. I got to be better than somebody else to be somebody. No, why can't you be yourself and still be great and feel good about yourself? No, I got to be better than somebody. I got to compare myself with somebody. I got to be more. To what extent? What are you going to get? Be more than what? Dumbness and politicians and the system is helping this chaotic bullshit. Look at the families falling apart left and right. They still get married. They still want to fuck around. They still want to be non-committed while committed. Let me have the benefits of the financial means, but not responsible for what I'm supposed to be actually responsible for. Both men and women think that way now. Why? Because they're not really into building a family. They're into, what can I get out of this life? Or the more I get, the more satisfaction is based on more things. Okay, that's not stability. That's bullshit. Anyhow, don't give me riled up. Deep Diver, you impress me. Nikola Tesla is my hero. I've read this book. I have watched his movies, and I used his movies in the class I used to teach at one of the universities under the from concept to market. That was talking about inventions, how one invents, and the process that we go through to patent it, to protect it, and to market it, and to manufacture it and the steps that we got to look for. And at the end of the course, I would always play Nikola Tesla's life story movie. So you impressed me the fact that you know about these things, and it's interesting, very interesting. Ash says, I have a strange question for you, Mehran. Like other questions here is not strange. I'm used to it by now, especially when we have whopping 12 people here. I really don't understand what the hell is going on. Why only 12 people out of, I myself have 23,000 subscribers, so why only 11 or 12? What's going on? What's stopping me to be seen on YouTube? What's going on? Guys, I'm telling you, promote this channel, because obviously what I'm doing is not working. Cut pieces, put it on TikTok, whatever piece you like, put it on TikTok and point it toward the channel. That's all I can ask. And he says, an ex-friend of mine that turned out to be a true Machiavellian narcissist a few years ago is trying to reach out recently, and even though I have ignored him, he's still persisting. Should I just tell him to politely go and get fucked? Yeah, that would be a good idea. It would be a sound, intelligent decision. Yeah, when you know somebody's an asshole and is a troublemaker and a whatever, untrustworthy, why would you want to bring him to life? Look, in life, I believe you got to have certain standards, and those standards will stop from shit coming into your life. Why? Because when shit comes to your life, it's more difficult to clean it than just not allow it to get in. Yeah? What do I mean? When you see construction workers having this big net looking things in a frame, they put it somewhere and they shovel dirt and throw it in this, and from other side comes a certain size of earth and avoids bigger than certain size to get through. So in other words, rocks, debris, wood, pieces, stuff won't get through, and only the good dirt that they want to use it for cement or whatever they want to make can get through that tightly knitted net. Small holes, yeah? Like a sieve, sifted through. Well, if everything was going to go through the net, the sift, then you had to go the other side and start getting the rocks and worms and debris and the wood out. But if you have small holes, those are the standards. Only good stuff can get in. And then the other side, you don't have a problem. You just can use that dirt to do whatever it is you want to build. Same thing with our lives and friends and people who enter our lives. You got to have certain strict standards that is, in line with your values. So when someone comes in, they got to pass those standards. They got to meet those standards. And if they don't, they can't get through. They can't come into your life. They can't come into your family. They can't be a friend. You don't want to associate them. Why? Because once they come in, it's hard to get rid of them. You got to look for them. You got to be aware of what they're doing, what they're not doing, what kind of conjuring up, what the hell, what are they steering and all this? Like the shit that got through the big hole sifting, the construction site. So make your standards to be clear and tough according to what kind of quality you want to have, quality friends and interaction and, socializing with people of certain quality that you want to have in your life. And then you'll be much easier than allow any, garbage come in, and then now you got to find an excuse to get rid of them. So. And Ash says, or should I continue to stonewall? I don't want to feed him anything. He will latch on to, and anything you give him for a way in. Just tell him I'm busy right now and I don't have time for certain associations. So just, Either don't answer at all, or when you have a chance, and if he persists, says, "Listen, I appreciate your interest, but I'm really busy. Have as much friends as I could have right now." You know, that's it. Or as many friends. Colin says, "What can we do to get back those values and standards? Do not entertain relationship with a woman that you know her values are not in line with yours. Simple. Let them go find their own. They eventually will leave the one that they trained to become in a certain way, because that's really not what the woman actually wants. Because any way they look at it, they still would want a man for a certain reason beyond just companionship, you know? And when they change the character of the man, who cannot satisfy that character that they actually hope for and want, even though they don't show it and they put up a face with certain causes that they're representing, but in reality, they actually want the man that could protect them, provide for them, take care of them, and be there for them, and be a leader when leadership is necessary. Huh? So when they do that to a man and turn him around, then eventually they're going to leave and they're going to find themselves lonely, because no real good man with good old-fashioned values would want to be around a woman who is actually not wanting to honor womanhood and be the woman that men are dying for. They go to wars for, they die for, to protect them. Women have become unrealistic, and they've become uncaring about the men who actually worship them, want to take care of them. And if you don't value that, then we won't. We only look for the women who are still proud to be women, love to be feminine, want to take care of themselves, and are strong and educated and wise, and they have a career if they want to have a career. They don't if they don't want to have it. The equality, I'm all for it. Equality of opportunity, I'm all for it. But anything more is just unrealistic and unreasonable. It's just, you know, blowing your own horn and bullshit and just pretending that, you know, you're being brainwashed rather than realistic. Sandra, female, 46, Montreal. Bonjour. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? And she says, why do I obsess about revenge? I am better off now. Why are you obsessed for revenge? Because you have given the brush to paint your picture in other people's hands. So what they have done or interacted, how they interacted with you, have created a different image than you have of yourself in your own mind. And you think by taking revenge, you're going to restore that image that you prefer and you had in your mind about yourself, rather than what they have done caused that image in your mind about yourself to be changed. But that image that you have about yourself, or you had about yourself in your mind about yourself, is never changed. It's illusory to think that someone's behavior is now representing the whole eye of the world on you. When someone does something to you, or there's something going on, you want to revenge because you think that is the world. That's the entirety of the world. It's not. It's only one fragment. Nobody else knows about it. Nobody else gives a shit. And you have not changed because of that person's idiot behavior. It's on that person. The asshole is that person, whatever that person's relationship with you is. What has been done is reflection on them. But you think the wrong that has been done, whatever that has been done, is relationship or whatever it was, that is done by somebody else, is a reflection on you. No, what they do is reflection on them, not you. And you want to take revenge in order to bring that reflection you had of yourself, about yourself in your own mind back. Well, that's not gone anywhere. You just think you got to keep all the flies away in order to be whole. No, you're whole no matter how many flies sit on you. You just do this and they're gone. You think, oh, a fly sat on me, so now I'm not the same. Well, that's just like when somebody behaves obnoxiously or unfairly towards you. It's just a fly. It doesn't change you. You just swat it out, and you just go about your business and don't give a shit about them. You think you got to do something to bring back what and how you were. No, you've never gone anywhere. You are exactly as how and what you've always been. There you go. So I was speaking the way, okay, it says, if I'm better off, I found better after being dumped, but I want the ex to suffer. Yeah, well, look, obviously, he's drinking his own brew, and he's going to be suffering by the way he's making decision in his life anyhow. And you shouldn't be concerned about if he's suffering or not. You should be concerned about you not suffering. The problem is that everybody's focusing on, oh, I want that person to suffer. No, I want you not to suffer. Meaning, don't give a fuck. Just go about your business, build your life, be happy, be independently happy, not based on somebody else's attention or contribution to whatever makes you happy or not. Be happy based on your accomplishments, based on you building your own life, based on independence from anybody else's behavior. That stops your suffering. But then you create a condition that unless that person suffers, I'm not happy. Well, then you're making your happiness conditional to somebody else having or not having something, which means you're not in control. You just relinquished control and gave your happiness, control of your happiness, to somebody else. Why? Because you're waiting until he suffers for you to be happy. Who cares? Just focus on being happy yourself. That is where you can find happiness. Not in somebody else's suffering that you will be happy, but in making yourself happy, doing things in life that makes you happy. That brings that result much faster than waiting for some asshole to suffer. Well, look, he's suffering anyhow. Why? Because he's an asshole. So doesn't need any further than that. He might not know he's suffering it, but everybody else knows, you know. And Sandra says, ça va, merci. Oh, okay. Doya. Slobodan Sesalomeran, 22, Belgrade. What's up? You know? Beetlejuice is here from Norway. Sorry about this. I don't know. I may die. God. That's better. Says, hi, Meran, male 18, Norway. Norway. I would love to see Norway. Sandra says, haha, yes. Okay. Is it to me or is it to the deep diver? Either way. And Beetlejuice says, oh, Luana says, finally, I found you live. I've been finding myself live every morning. I didn't know I was dead in your world. I'm glad that you found me. And Luana, let me know your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. And are you on YouTube? Oh, you're YouTube. Yeah, okay. And Beetlejuice says, I don't understand when people say they were straight, but they didn't know they were bi until later in life. And that scares me a lot. Well, yeah, they can say whatever they want to say. If you want to be scared by people saying this or that, then you'll be scared and pondering on what people say rather than what you say. Yeah. If you know and have learned that there is a separation between brain, you, and thoughts, then you should be very clear that there's a separation between other people and you. What they say is what they like to say. To watch psychotherapists and psychologists and neuroscience specialists and scientists and educate yourself rather than listening to this or that. Loana says 32, female, Romania. I added you on LinkedIn years ago to tell you that your videos changed my life. This is still valid. Bless you and bless you. And I love you too. And thank you very much for sharing this. It helps a lot to know that you're making a difference. And I appreciate that. Well, we have an unprecedented heat wave here in Western Canada. Today, right now, as we're as we're talking, it is 32 degrees Celsius, and it says it feels like 36. It's clear sky, and it's 32 degrees, feels like 36. Well, that's a great day to fly. Aircrafts fly easier, lift off easier in hot days. But that's the only good thing about it. The rest of it is pretty warm. And John Anesi is here. Where have you been? Says Meran, John 30, Syracuse. Why is thought always working against us? Always bringing in these intrusive thoughts? Because thought is not intellect, is a machine. Brain is not intellect, is a machine. It has a mandate and is programmed to make thoughts. It's not programmed to have intellect to know what thoughts is in line with your values and then ask you and consult with you that, hey, sir, I want to make a thought about nonsense or this thing or that thing. Would that comply with your values? It doesn't ask that because it doesn't have an intellect. It just makes thoughts because its job is to make thoughts. And those thoughts have come from an inventory, ingredients that have seeped through your consciousness throughout the mediums in the world, such as publications, television programs, internet, and books, and billboards, and advertisements, and anything that has anything to do with anything, any concept, any new technology seeps through. That information comes in. Any new uh, way of scientific research, new products, new designs, new deals, new lifestyles, or uh, different lifestyles, and different discussions on different topics. They all are out there and broadcasted, and they somehow find their way through your consciousness. And the brain finds anything and everything that has found its way into the consciousness, whatever and however it has, and make thought out of it. So that's his job. And then your job is to judge it and see if any of them is useful or not useful. It's not to say that, oh, the brain is responsible to only make thoughts that is beneficial to you or in line with your values. It has no such mandate. It has a mandate of making thoughts, thousands, 80, 90,000 thoughts a day. It makes them. Your job is to be the boss, to be the supervisor, to be the quality control, to see which is useful, which not, which can be ignored or should be ignored because it's useless and irrelevant to you, and which you can see what it says, ponder, and use it for advancing your purposes that it is you've set out to accomplish, or which one should just fall by the wayside and die and not see the light of day. This is your job, but you don't want to do your job. You just expect that employee, that apparatus to its job, to do its job according to your preferences. No, you have your vetoes and choices. So regardless of what this idiot, what this dumb shit that you think it's intellect and it's trained and knows everything, you're supposed to make a judgment on what this thing produces, and then you will have freedom of mind, freedom of thoughts, and you'll be independent and in control of your life. Jesse Schmitz is here. Says, Miran, I so agree on the feminism part. Feminism has put a wall between women and men instead of equalize us all and bring everyone together. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We men adore women. We want to serve them, protect them, to be with them. But at the same time, we want them to be our center of encouragement, to see that what makes our soul relaxed and confident. Their feminism, their beauty, the way they take care of themselves, their touch in life, their sense of how things are. They're the flowers and we are the guardians. But they relinquish being that beautiful queen of life. They want to be an asshole like most men are, careless, uncaring, not have good values, standards, not high standards, not motivators, not the holder of the high echelons of manners and morals, not motivating men to become more of men and gentlemen and promoting that in them. So society will go down. Why? Because the society is made of its ingredients, and its ingredients are human beings. Who makes society? We do. So if we're fucked up and we don't have the right values, we don't follow the right paths and directives, well, of course, the society is going to be shitty. And then society is making the newcomers, while the old comers have made this society that the poor newcomers are being subjected to. So what is society? I am the society. So if I'm fucked up, if I can't find that balance that the whole universe goes around because of that, and somehow somebody and people want to change that balance to some shit that has no known result of it, and they want to abandon what has worked for thousands of years and have brought us to this standard that we are, and they want to change that, well, then we're just doomed. We're not going to survive. You can't survive by having male to become all feminine and females to become all masculine. It's not going to work. You want to change the nature, the whole principle of life? Good luck. You're just fucking up everything. Women are powerful, they're wise, they're capable, they're educated, they're far beyond what women were 500 years ago. But that is good. It's not supposed to destroy it by turning them into men and then turning men into feminine. What? What for? Let men be men and women be women. We have all kinds of genders. Let us all be who we are. We're heterosexual, homosexual, whatever we are. Let us enjoy what we are rather than trying to change this to that and that to this and promote this to be all like that and all like that. Because if I can make more people like me, then I'll have more rights. Well, that's selfish, being selfish cunts. Because you're being selfish, not respecting other people's rights and want to turn everybody like you so you can get more. So women want to make men to become feminine, and the heterosexuals want to make homosexuals heterosexual, and some homosexuals want to make heterosexuals homosexuals, all because they want to have more of what it is that they're not getting, instead of all helping together, bring equality, and live our lives in peace and as we are and as we are designed to be, instead of encroaching and promoting what we think it should be rather than what everybody has the right to be, what they are, what they want to be. All right. Beetlejuice says, did you see my question? I may have seen it, but I don't know if I read it. Let's see. Beetlejuice. Yeah, because Beetlejuice, because you're constantly trying to data hunt it. You're constantly trying to get assurances. Look, if I drink this tea, and I know it's tea, and I've been drinking it for days and months, but if I now just say, a thought comes to my mind, and I entertain it instead of just letting it pass. Is this tea been cultivated as tea, or I'm thinking it's tea? Maybe it's not. Let's see. It tastes kind of different, but it doesn't taste any different. But now I'm cultivating that. And the brain picks up that and runs with all things that this could be other than tea, because I suggested that. I entertained that train of thoughts. So it associates with all other rabbit holes, because that's his job, in order to solve, find, configure things. That is a specialty. If you give it the beginning of something that is already is on the wrong leg, then it's going to go through that. So what if I just think, who actually picked this tea? Were they actually healthy? Did they have diarrhea on the day that they were picking this tea? How do I know if they washed their hands? Oh, maybe maybe I'm going to get diarrhea. Maybe I shouldn't drink it. Fuck it. I don't want this. It's a bad brand. What did I do? Illusory bullshit. I allowed the brain just take over my thinking. This can happen in everything. In your mentality about somebody, about a project, about an investment, about your friendships, about your relationships, about your gender, about anything, you could actually go nuts by allowing thoughts to dictate your beliefs, rather than being judgmental on thoughts and staying based on your vetoes and choices. I don't care what can come to my brain, because the brain's job is to make thoughts. I stick with what I prefer. I like nectarine. I like nectarine. I don't care if it comes to my mind that this nectarine has got shit in it. Hmm? I have no evidence. I've always eaten nectarine and always liked it. Now suddenly nectarine is bad. If you eat it, you become a giraffe. Oh, maybe I would. Maybe I shouldn't eat that. Now I'm letting something bullshit to control what's always been and what my preference is. Do you like nectarine or not? Yes, I do. That's the end of it. I don't care what other suggestions come to your mind about nectarine that you don't like it. You actually like something else. No, I like nectarine. No, you don't. Maybe you think you like nectarine. Maybe you actually like oranges. Hmm? Don't you think you're mixing them up? You are an orange man. You're not nectarine man. Have I been an orange man and I never knew? Maybe I was. I don't know. I'm confused now. You see, fuck all that. Go with your vetoes and choices. Yeah, my choice is nectarine. Fuck you. That's the end of it. Go on with your life. Have your nectarine. It goes with anything, about anything. Otherwise, if you allow your brain to lead you, it can lead you to hell because you believe everything that it says, because you think brain is above you, because you think brain is the intellect and you're the follower of the intellect. No, you're the intellect. The brain is nothing, it's stupid. You got to watch my video that is titled, Are You or the Brain is the You? Are you or the brain is the you? I'm going to put the link up here. This is based on neuroscience and neurosurgery and the brilliant Nobel Prize research type of things by Dr. Speary, Dr. Libet, Dr. Owens, Dr. Penfield. And these experiments helps you to see that there are aspects of you, there are aspects of mind that the brain cannot reach. So brain is not the intellect. This idea of material atom or void, trying to refute the dualism, limits a human being to believe, and they tried that for many years, that there is nothing but atom, like material. That's materialistic idea, opinion. But in fact, we are beyond material. There's something that the brain cannot reach, and that's the intellect, that's the awareness. That is where we are. We are not where the brain is or suggests. We are where the brain cannot reach. And in the experiment that Dr. Libet has done, which is right here in this link that I put in here, it's a 45 some odd minute video, but it's worth watching it. Damn it, and do it. It will show you that beyond the shadow of the doubt, what was discussed by Aristotle 1,000 years ago, now modern science, in neuroscience, through neurosurgery, and these experts, these brilliant researchers have proven it beyond the shadow of the doubt that there are aspects of you and the mind that the brain cannot reach. Watch that. Educate yourself, strengthen yourself, bring power to yourself. Don't let this to be your power. Your power is beyond this. This cannot reach your powers. If you look at my video, the short video, 1 minute video that is showing the experiment I did in the university that I was teaching the course. I was invited to do a little seminar thing, and I showed the power of mind, power of the, how amazing brain is, how powerful it is when you are commanding it. Look what is commanding that power to be unleashed into which direction by whom. You will see that there is a me that is commanding the brain power to work for my advantage to what I want to do. That is when you actually, like, you have a horse that you've trained it, and the horse is ready there, saddled, waiting for you to get on it and take you where you want it to go, because you can communicate with it and you have trained it to listen to you. And you ignore when it's not listening to you. Versus a horse that is running around and is not trained, and every time you sit on it, it takes you where you don't want to go. That's the brain. If you train it and command it, it's very powerful. It can do amazing things like it does in this video that I'm going to put the link here. So who is commanding that power to be doing what I'm doing in that video? Not the brain itself. There is some operator. Who is that operator? That's me. That's me, that the brain is actually doing what I want, using the power that it has according to my wishes. That's you, not what the brain does. The commander, the director, the conductor of the power of the brain, the chooser, the judge is you. The selector of what the brain produces is you, not the brain that produces whatever it produces, which most of it is nonsense. If you understand that, then you have won the battle of freedom from mind, freedom from thoughts, and freedom from the sick brain that most of the time it doesn't know what it's doing. But you're supposed to guide it and retrain it. And here's the link. And I'm going to put the 1 minute one. And if you like, you can just take a minute and watch it right now, right this moment. It's only 59 seconds. So go watch it and come back. I'll have a little bit of tea. I'll be right back. Take a little walk too. I've been sitting for a couple hours. Yeah, just watch that for 1 minute. So I want to get a feedback. The ones who watched it, Sandra, thank you. And just let me know if you watched it. The ones who watched it, put a 1. I want to see how many people watched it. Asked Lee says, fascinating video. Yeah, it is actually. Thank you for that. Slobodan says, we love you, Mehran. We do. Thank you very much. I love you guys too. That's why I'm here. Definitely it's not for the millions of dollars that I'm getting. It's for love, care. Um, Deep diver, I have a comment about your comment or question from Caesar 321. Let me first read Caesar's question, or rather, Caesar 321. First of all, Caesar, let me know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from before I go on with that. So remember, protocol, gender, age, where you're tuning in from, which country, which city. All right, we've climbed up to the top of the charts to 14 people, 15 now, 14. So I'm becoming a little bit, dizzy for the amazing numbers that I can't handle anymore. Deep Diver just watched it as well. Thank you very much. Can you guys simply click on one if you watched that 1 minute video? And I'm still waiting for Caesar 321 to let me know about his age, gender, and where he's tuning from. Until then, I go for Damien Martinez. Says, greetings. I'd like to book an appointment with you both on your, but on your website, I can't find your doctorate credentials. Oh, I'm not a doctor. You'll never find that. I've said that a million times on this channel in my comments. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a psychologist. The books I've written is based on my research on scholars of 100 years ago, neuroscientists, neurosurgeons, psychologists, and my own pondering and understanding the movement of the psyche through my lifetime and experiences and research. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychotherapist. If you need to your talk to your doctor, got to contact them. Talk to your psychotherapist or psychologist. I have links of famous psychotherapists and psychologists like Dr. Jan Weiner, Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson. These are all links are underneath the videos and the description part of the videos that I have in the two playlists of intrusive thoughts, OCD, HOCD, and subsets of OCD. And you can watch those if you have a question or concern about that kind of a challenge. Otherwise, my other topics about relationships and breakups are as they are on the channel. We have about 3,000 videos and over 1,200 or 1,100 live streams. So there you are. And my bio on my site clearly says anything there is to know about me as far as pertaining to what I'm doing. And none of them ever anywhere says or implies that I'm a psychologist or doctor or have any medical credentials whatsoever. So I want to make sure that is clear. Deep diver, not deep diver. Where is Caesar 321? Did you abandon ship 321? Did you now? I need to know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Yeah, Beetlejuice. We're living in a different era, and just God knows what's going on. You stick to your guns. Don't worry about it. To each his own. Deep Diver says, so what part of the mind did you access when you did the second part of the experiment? By the way, the room you were giving your class reminded me of the same venue which Jordan Peterson taught class. It's a pleasure to be reminded of him when you watch my stuff. Uh, it's there's so many scholars in the world, and we all learn from each other. It's wonderful. Um, it's not what part of the brain one uses. It shows the ability and the power that can coordinate mind and body. You see, most people think that they're just a, I mean, they have some kind of awareness of that they're more than their physical being, but they really don't know how to connect them. The life as we know it are at least in two parts, physical and mental. But we only focus on physical part of it. We have not nurtured the mental part of it. We have not meditated much. We haven't strengthened the mind. We haven't coordinated the mind. Look, the physical entity, physical portion of our entity has a center of gravity because it's physical. And I've discussed that in other videos, but I want to show you here. We live on a planet that its laws, according to its law, physics law, weight of all objects are naturally underside. That means weight of all objects are at their lowest point. In other words, that's why when I let this fall, it goes down. Look. If I let it go, it falls down. It doesn't go up, it doesn't hover. So there's something that is pulling it down. So the weight of all objects are at their lowest point, right here, down here. So when I let it go, it falls. So weight of my physical object, physical part of my entity, is also at its lowest point. And in order to make it easy, we just go at the center of gravity of our body, which is a hypothetical point about 20 centimeter lower than navel. I've explained this in other videos. So if you imagine about 20 centimeter lower than your navel, there's a hypothetical point that is infinitely small, and that's where the weight of your upper body is. Forget about the legs for now. The weight of your upper body is focused at its lowest point, according to the law of this planet. So in other words, meaning the weight of my upper body is also focused downwardly to this direction. Yeah. But that's not all I am, is there? There's a mind involved, which is giving or taking balance away, or the direction of the energy. While the energy that contains the effect of my existence downwardly, gravity or whatever it's called, my mind can move that in different direction, or focus and concentrate it on that same direction on one given point. That's when you have your mind and body coordinated. But when you don't have it coordinated, that effect that I showed on the video doesn't happen. Why? Because your body is here and center of gravity is here, and its weight is, according to the law of this planet, is falling at the lowest point. But the mind, your other part of your entity, is all over the place. It's not coordinated, it's separated. Because mind doesn't have a physical place, or at least it hasn't been taught and trained to have a physical place in the body to become coordinated with the body, so mind and body both will move in the same direction and together. When it doesn't, where is it gonna go? It's looking for occupation, it's looking for a place to find a home. And because it doesn't find its occupation and security in physical environment, it's constantly, because it hasn't been taught there is a physical point for it to rest his hat on, hang his hat on, and rest there. So it's constantly flowing everywhere. Think about that tree, think about the bills you have to pay, think about your schooling, your exam, your work, your relationship, whatever it is, it's all over the place. Therefore, it's separated from your physical body. Once you teach the brain, the mind, once you teach the mind that it also has a place that it can coordinate itself with the body, physical aspect of the body, then mind and body become one. When mind and body become one, the whole universe and mind and body all become one. And who can lift the whole universe? That exercise proves that you are part of the nature. Because when you create that harmony between mind and body, and the energy flows into the same point that both mind and body are concentrated upon, becomes unity between mind and body, and the energy flow becomes naturally happening as it is happening throughout the universe, from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe. These energy flows that have created everything that there is, they pass through your one point. They pass through everything, and it happens to pass through your one point. And when your mind and body both are also on that one point, all three become one. And you become part of the whole. You become part of the universe that you are originally from. Once you actually align with it, it's like the drop of the ocean that has been rolled back into the ocean. It fluffed off through the, let's say, the wave, it splashed and the drop is out. That drop is outside the ocean, but still part of the ocean. Now, if you can manage to roll it back into the ocean, it becomes the ocean. And its characteristics changes. Same thing, we are drops of the universe, the energy of the universe. When we learn how to coordinate mind and body and be able to roll back into the flow of the same original energy that flows from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, we become part of the universe that we came from. When we become part of the universe, who can lift the whole universe? Because I'm now one with the universe. You want to lift me? You're lifting the whole universe, because I'm now connected back to that energy. I'm not just the individual separated. That's why we are united when we're together. We're not so strong when we're not together. Yeah. So you're united when your mind and body is coordinated, because it also becomes united with the universe, the origin, the source. And then the humongous power, the willpower, ability to do things, to endure, to withstand, to accomplish, to be resilient. All of that comes into the picture. But this is a way to show how actually this is true. That's why we train these exercises. It's an exercise to strengthen the mind, so you can use it in directing and conducting the brain waves, the brain power. Because brain has a power, but if you're not able to actually bring it, harness it, and direct it, then you're fucked, because it will rule you. Then you're not stable, because then it will rule you. But when you're coordinated, you have the power to direct the power of the brain that is loose. That's why when it goes haywire and comes up with all these intrusive thoughts, you're supposed to ignore it so you can train it, and it will learn to follow, rather than you pay attention to it and train it that, oh yeah, I want you to keep thinking about this. No, you ignore it so neuroplasticity won't take place. and it learns that it's follower of you, that there is a you and then there is a brain, that the brain is not you and you're not the brain, you're above the brain, and brain is subordinate to you. And in this exercise you see that the me, is mandating, commanding, and controlling the brain's power to be used according to what I want it to be used. All right. Deep Diver says, yes, thank you. It just reminded me of the discussion of gravity between Avicenna and Abu Sa'id Abul Khair. Abu Sa'id took a vase and let it stand on air without gravity affecting it. Any particular video of yours would you recommend me to watch to practice this sort of focus? Yeah, the meditation part. The meditation videos explains quite a bit of different things. Just see whichever suits you. And Beetlejuice says, how do I stop taking things for granted? I try so hard to enjoy things, but I can't. I've lost interest in all my hobbies. I feel down 24/7, like something is missing and a void needs to be filled. This HOCD has really affected so many aspects of my life. Nothing is the same anymore. I just feel empty and I've developed social anxiety because you're believing your brain. I'm trying to relay to you that you're the boss, you're the master, you're the teacher, you're the trainer. You have a job to do. Retrain your brain. Your brain has gone haywire. Talk to your psychologist, psychotherapist. They will educate you. Your brain is in a malfunctioning mode for this type of thoughts and intrusive thoughts. And you entertaining it doesn't help because it makes it through neuroplasticity to be encouraged to make more of these intrusive thoughts, which none of them are true. But it makes it because you've allowed it to make it by engaging in it and exchanging energy and debating with it, trying to prove to it that you have given an echelon, trained and retrained and conditioned yourself to believe through this interaction with these nonsenses that the brain manufactures. You have believed that the brain is above you, that the brain needs to be convinced, that in order to be identified according to who you are, you have to convince something, and that something is the brain. So you're constantly trying to convince something that is not an intellect, is stupid. And it's on the role of making negative thoughts. It's like you talk to a crazy person. You constantly come up with all these reasonabilities and logic and scientific facts, but the crazy person keeps repeating the same behavior and same shit. And you keep saying, I have to convince him. No, you don't have to. You just got to let the fucker go. Let the idiot go. You have no mandate to try to teach everyone the right thing, including your own brain. When you entertain it as in this way that you do, you start beginning that the brain is above you and needs to give you permission to be who you are. That's why you're constantly trying to convince the brain. That's why you're constantly seeking assurances, looking for evidences that I am who I've always been, that I like girls that I've always liked. So the thought that shows up in my brain about being a different gender, I have to prove it that I'm not. No, you don't have to. You can ignore it. What do you do when you walk around and somebody says something nonsense in the street to you? And you know that you're not that. And you know that you're not interested to be that. You know, somebody say, hey, do you want some crack? You know you don't want to, and you're not interested. So what do? You start talking about it. So you say, no, but let me tell you how wonderful it makes you feel, and continues on trying to convince you. Instead of you just say, hey, listen, not interested, thank you very much, go. Or just no, say nothing, you move away. That is not what you do with your brain. So the brain gets a mandate thinking that now you're in a conversation with it. And pretty soon, because you can't get anywhere, because with the crazy person, you can't reason anything, you can't get anywhere, you think the crazy person is right because he keeps repeating itself and you're tired of repeating it. Say, oh, fuck, maybe he's right. Because he's not going to get convinced. And I think somebody got to be convinced. No, nobody got to be convinced. And in relation to your brain, you don't have to convince the brain. And you shouldn't think that the brain can convince you. You should just not give a shit. You rule and run and live by your vetoes and choices, not by suggestions, thoughts, and images of the brain. Ashley Weatherburn says, can I make a quick suggestion? You can, but I gotta know your age. There it is. Male, 30, London. Thank you for that. Says, can I make a suggestion? I'm interested in a lady who is currently studying at university. She spends most of her time completing her assignments. I want her to do well in school, but how can I remain patient without distracting her? I rarely get a chance to meet or communicate with her. Listen, that's her prerogative, that's her choice. You got to respect that. You can't be pushing yourself onto her because obviously she's given more importance to her studies or whatever the hell it is that she's doing, and she's pretending it's studies, or maybe it is studies, than she's giving it to the relationship or to spending time with you. So you have a choice. You wait and wait and wait until you see that actually she wasn't into you, or she's gone with somebody else, or she's just continuing her way of doing things and not really spending any time on the relationship, at which time you're supposed to be reasonable and think this is not a relationship. So move on. Because look, I don't care how busy we are. If we really like someone and it's at the beginning of the relationship, it's not like established that we've known each other for a year and now we both understand that we're busy trying to accomplish certain kind of a course or project. So we understand that, okay, we've been together, we are together, nothing going to be changed. So let's give each other time to accomplish what it is urgent and sensitive, time sensitive, and we got to accomplish that. If that's not the case, and it's just the beginning of the relationship and she doesn't spend time or dedicate time to it, well, maybe she's not interested enough or as much as you are. Because men become more attached to a woman at the beginning much faster than the woman does, because we're programmed for seeking intimacy. I'm not saying women are not, but they're not functioning as we are programmed to function. We want it now, right now, impatient. That's the way a male species of human being is for procreation. We are like the sperms They compete and go run, 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 run to get to the target. And that's what we kind of feel when we like a woman. We kind of want to get to her. But they are not. They're more patient and logical and reasonable and so on. So either you control and understand this in yourself and be patient, or you simply talk to her and say, listen, are we continuing a relationship? Or the reason you're not giving any time to this relationship is not because you're busy for your studies, you're actually not that into me. And if you're not, we best know it so I can move on with other possible options. Because I'm a man, I like to have a girlfriend and I like to help her to be successful. At the same time, I have expectations. And I'm sure you have expectations. And since I'm willing to sacrifice some of the other interests that I have in order to spend time with you, but you don't seem to, I assume that I'm not the right person for you. Well, say it the way it is. And if she comes back and says, no, actually you are, and I want to be with you, but I just got to do this, and don't worry, I'm going to make time. And you say, I don't want you to make time. I want you to be successful. But I want to know, am I just there to boost your ego, or are you actually interested in this relationship? I can handle that if you are, but I want honesty to be representing us in this relationship. Because I don't want to be a stumbling block for your success. And at the same time, I don't want to hang around for someone who's not interested in me. I want to have a girlfriend and have a relationship with. We can cooperate and help each other, but not, expect me to just wait around for what? If there is nothing here, let me know. If there is, then okay, let's see how we can arrange it. There must be some time that bloody hell you got to eat, or you want to be with me. If you can't find that, then I make the decision. You are not interested and I'm not interested in you. Bye-bye. Yeah. So the problem is you're a little bit of a pussy. You don't have the guts to say it and command or expect or require or request a decision from her. You prefer not to bring it up. So by any chance, if she says, no, I'm not interested, you won't get all fucked up. You just want to keep the hope there. I'm saying, forget the hope, get the facts. Bring it to actuality. Is it a relationship or is it not? I don't care how busy you are. I really don't care how busy you are. I want you to be successful, but I don't care, meaning that there must be a time available that you would want to do what you like to do. And I want to know if I am one of the things that you like to do, you like to spend time with. Yeah. Because you feel urgency about it. Yeah. You want to go to the bathroom, you feel urgency, but you don't say, well, I'm busy, I'm studying. No, you see, this is part of your function. You want to eat, you got to go eat. You don't say, oh, I'm busy, I'm studying. No, you go eat. I want to see if I'm part of your nourishment, because I feel you are part of mine. But if I'm not yours, I can reprogram myself and move on. Don't be afraid. Say it. Save yourself. Most of us suffer because we don't have the guts to talk about it, because we the hope of having a possibility of some girl not saying no to me is better than actually knowing that she's not mine. She doesn't want me. Bullshit. She doesn't want you, so she doesn't want you. Who died and left her in charge to give you validations and be the almighty of this life? There's so many other women out there, wonderful, beautiful, capable, amazing, one more than the other. So go for that. Don't waste your time. I want her to be successful. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, she should also want you to be successful. What is it that you're just hanging around? You have to be doing everything that she wants to do for her success. But you don't count. Why? Because she knows she's a commodity in demand. So many people may want her. Regardless of what their ulterior motive is, but in her mind, oh, I'm sought after, so I can choose anyone. Well, okay then. So you're not focusing on the quality of what you choose, you're just focusing on how many you can choose, on what's available to you. For that reason, I'm out. And you go on. Don't waste your time. Beetlejuice, again, I mentioned, you cannot give up on yourself. You give up on anything else you want, but you cannot give up on yourself. You have a duty, you have a mandate in this world. You mean something to every one of us. Anything you do, whether you know it or not, is going to affect everyone else on this earth. You're here, you're chosen one among the 300 million other sperms that your dad and mom created, your dad created, and they had a chance to become a human being instead of you. But you were the chosen one. So you can't fucking give up on yourself and talk shit like this because this mentality or that thought showed up. I don't know. I may take my own life. No. What about us? We all need you, whether you know it, you know us or not, whether we know you or not. Everything I do affects somebody in this world, whether they know me or not. Everything you do affects somebody in this world, whether you know or not. So you cannot think your life belongs to you. I'm going to take it. What the fuck is talking like that? Let me write your name on this ugly stick and have you in mind when traveling is open. I come and beat you on the head with this because of your disrespect to the life that we all count on, yours. So sort it out. Never give up on yourself and don't talk bullshit like that. All right. We all love you. Don't forget. All right. The ones who are going through OCD and HOCD and subsets, once they actually learn about what it is, how it functions, and understand and educate themselves, they become a better of whatever they've always been and they wanted to be and they are than ever before. If you're heterosexual, you're hit by HOCD. Once you figure it out and deal with it, manage it, you become a stronger heterosexual, more confident than ever because now you know how the fucking brain works and you're no longer bamboozled by it. That's your mission in life. This is given an opportunity for you to learn about yourself and educate yourself, become more powerful than you ever thought it's possible. That's your challenge. Go take it. Learn it. Don't be bamboozled and fooled by the brain. Brain is an apparatus, is not your leader. All right. Deep Diver says, thank you, Miran. Well, check out your meditation videos. I just downloaded a self-hypnosis app to test it out. The person behind this self-hypnosis is Dr. David Spiegel. Maybe you can check him out. Deep Diver says, great video, great advice to Astley Meron. I so believe in clarity, directness, and honesty. This is courage. Aaron Louis 16 says, if anyone is suffering from OCD and with us, yeah, Aaron, that's good. That's one should do, to fall back on her own history and look at the back time. The problem is that when somebody's being hit by HOCD or OCD, everything that they ever did and were and loved and believed and perfectly happy and proud of it, it's like it doesn't matter anymore. That's the deficiency. So they constantly got to remind themselves, but that is not what they're banking on. They want the now. And the now, to understand it, they got to understand their brain. They got to learn and educate themselves. They cannot just rely on how things were and how they were, how they function, how much they loved women and how they dated this. That is known, but they are focusing on the now. They want to know why this is turning this way, because they think the fact that such thoughts are created, that means something. Their whole focus should be on the fact that what is produced here means nothing. they are data hunting to make meanings out of the intrusive thoughts because it happened to in the screen of their heads, because they think it has any value or validity. They should focus on the fact that the brain is going through a malfunction. Instead of finding excuses or finding reasons and finding justification or interpretation for it, they got to focus on the fact that it's going on a malfunction tour. Like you get diarrhea, they know their ass wasn't involved in producing diarrhea all the time, but it is now. Now is the problem. That doesn't matter how many days it was a good poo-poo, but today is not, and all they can see themselves is the present moment. So for that, they need to understand how diarrhea takes place. That is part of the malfunction of the intestine, and it can be fixed, because that is not the natural state of their being. It's a malfunction. We are clear about malfunctions on every other aspects of our body and organs. But when it comes to the brain, somehow we've been duped since childhood to think that the brain is us, and the brain is the intellect, and the brain is the leader, and the brain is the teacher, and the brain is everything, and the brain is me, and I'm the brain. Therefore, we do not question it, or we don't even focus on the fact that the brain also, like other organs, is going through malfunction, like our intestine is having a diarrhea. It cannot hold things the way they always been and programmed to be. So we got to focus on bringing it back to health rather than believing the shit. You don't believe your intestine when it's got diarrhea. Oh, diarrhea. Oh, that's what I've been all long. That is my nature. That is normal for me. No, you don't say that. It's very clear for you. How I was what I liked and happy, and never was like this diarrhea. So your brain too. How I was, you're heterosexual male, you loved women, and that's how you function, and that's you got to be focusing on that, and then be aware and assured that this what it is a malfunction. No different than any other organ, no different than your intestine. And then take steps to educate yourself, talk to your psychologist, a psychotherapist, your doctors, and learn what it is and how to rewire your brain through neuroplasticity and through the things that psychologists, psychotherapists talk about. And I have also talked about it on my videos over and over. Duh. All right. Deep Diver says, I need to hit the sack, Mehran. Thanks a lot for your great live. Ruz Khosh Azizam. Thank you very much for being here. And yeah, it must be about what? 3 o'clock in the morning there. Yeah, go to sleep, girl. And see you next time. And thank you for your attention here and being part of this discussion. Column says, Beetlejuice. Oh, we talked to the Beetlejuice. All right, guys, I think it's time for me as well to call it a day. It's 2 hours and 35 minutes and a whopping 14 people here. So please do something and promote this channel. If you really enjoy the content, I need your help. If you don't, we'll wither and die. All right. I look forward to having a chat with you again. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe tonight at 9 p.m., another one. Maybe not, depending on if I go for a walk or not. Maybe I will because it's too hot. So anyhow, until then, and if not, next week, 1 p.m. Vancouver time and 9 p.m. Vancouver time on Saturdays, I hope to see you and talk to you, and we'll have a chat and maybe a laugh or two. In the meantime, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again, perhaps tonight, as I said. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.